Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video where today I'm going to be showing you my Pokemon team if I was in the anime, of course. Also, it turns out that 91% of you who watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to my channel, which I'm just going to say you should consider subscribing. It'll help out a lot and you wouldn't want to miss out on more videos like this one. With that all said and done, let's get right into the video. Starting things off like everyone else, I of course get a choice between a starter, and for that I'm choosing Bulbasaur because he's my favorite Pokemon, of course. And for my rival, I'm going to be giving him a Charmander because, of course, like every Pokemon game, your rival has a stronger starter than you. I then make my way over to Viridian Forest where I end up getting my first capture, and that being a Pidgey. While still there, I end up catching myself a Caterpie as well because, I mean, come on, why wouldn't I want a Butterfree on my team? With my team of 3, I end up traveling to Pewter City where I take on Brock for my first gym badge. I'm able to get the win easily with my Bulbasaur, having the type advantage. Making my way to Cerulean City, I'm able to do the same thing with Misty in her gym battle, as Bulbasaur has the type advantage here. So I'm able to get the win easily on her using Bulbasaur and Butterfree. While boarding the SS Sand, I'm able to find myself a Sandshrew, adding him to my team, feeling as Sandshrew will be a reliable source and just a straight up strong Pokemon. My Butterfree will actually be leaving my team for the time being as I would release it to participate in the Butterfree mating season. But unlike Ash's though, my Butterfree will be able to come back later. On my way to earn the Soul Badge, and I realize that I need a 6th Pokemon on my team. That's when I come across a wild Dratini, deciding to add it to my team. Similar to Ash's Charmander, my Charmander will become more and more disobedient as it evolves, with me having to gain its trust back. My Charmeleon actually goes ahead and loses the gym battle for me against Sabrina, causing for a rematch. My Dratini actually evolves while I'm on my way to Cinnabar Island, preparing for my fight against Blaine. I really quickly transfer my Pidgey back to Professor Oak as I'm able to add a Magmar to my team before leaving Cinnabar Island. My Dragonair evolves into Dragonite after almost getting knocked out during a battle against Giovanni at the Viridian Gym. After that, my Dragonite proceeds to wipe the rest of Giovanni's team, then giving me the Earth Badge. After constantly battling with Magikarp, and losing of course, it eventually gains enough experience to evolve into Gyarados, adding another strong Pokemon to my team. I make my way over to the Indigo Plateau where the Indigo Plateau Conference is being held. I decide to compete in the competition as it works in the same way as in the anime. Using the team of 6, I end up placing in the top 32, while my rival ends up placing in the top 16. While still in the Indigo Plateau after losing the conference, I decide to take a trip down Victory Road and challenging the Elite Four members. After defeating the Elite Four members, it is my time to take on Lance, as he is the champion of Kanto. Thinking that Lance is going to be an easy battle, I am immediately proven wrong as his Dragonite and Aerodactyl easily wipe my whole team. Realizing the Johto League is a whole nother league, I decide to transfer over my Magmar and my Dragonite over to Professor Oak's lab, as I would want to catch some of the new Pokemon here in Johto. Earning a Sunstone in a bug catching competition, I decided to evolve my Sunkern into a Sunflora before my fight against Bugsy. With Sunkern being a strong Pokemon, it's able to go up against her Scyther and knock out her weaker bug Pokemon like Metapod and Weedle. Even though Sandshrew is one of my strongest Pokemon, I end up getting convinced to trade my Sandshrew for a Mischievous at a Pokemon Trade Fest. Realizing that my Charizard is somewhat weaker than before, I take it into training, being able to be called back later though at any moment I need it. My Chikorita, while almost fainting, evolves into Bayleaf during my battle with Jasmine for the Mineral Badge in Olivine City. Bayleaf ends up coming in clutch, giving me the win against Jasmine and giving me a Mineral Badge. Squirtle decides to return home to Celadon City, whereas he's still on my Pokemon team and he can be called upon anytime. Replacing the water type on my team, I catch myself a Corsola while traveling upon Route 40. Finding Corsola swimming around in the ocean, I decide to catch him. I transfer my Sunflora back to Professor Oak's lab as I catch myself a Shuckle. Before this league starts, I prepare by having my Charizard return from Charcific Valley, with also my Butterfree making a reappearance as he returns to help me fight in the league. I end up being my main rival in the top 8 of the Silver Conference. With me winning that battle, I am now placed in the top 4. While still in the league, I decide to take a trip up Mount Silver. That's where I discover a group of Pokemon that I've never seen before. Even my Pokedex doesn't recognize them. I decide to end up catching one, taking it back to Professor Oak, where he reveals to me that it's a Sableye, a brand new ghost type from the Hoenn region that I have never seen before. The next day, I end up using Sableye in the top 4 battles of the Silver Conference. With Sableye being unexperienced, Sableye ends up having a hard time in some of these battles, as the trainers are using strong Pokemon from the Johto region. In that case, I end up losing in top 4. With the team I have now, I decide to climb Mount Silver, after hearing about the rumor of a mysterious trainer at the top of it. After my league loss, I wanted another battle. After climbing Mount Silver with the help of Charizard and his flamethrower, I discover the mysterious trainer, Red. Just to clear things up, by the way, my character is not Red, that's just who I'm using as a placeholder, so I am not Red. Just telling you guys that. It's a close battle, but I end up defeating Red on top of Mount Silver. Red, who's impressed, gives me the information about the Hoenn region. Information like its location and how many new Pokemon there are there. Giving me a map as well of the Hoenn region and how to get there. All the Pokemon that I caught in the Johto region are now left at Professor Oak's laboratory. After making it to Little Root Town, I'm determined to get my first catch in Hoenn. Finding myself a little plusle, I decided to end up catching it, making it my first catch in the Hoenn region. Just outside of Little Root Town on Route 101, I encounter a wild Trico. With my favorite type being grass, I'm determined to catch this one, as it's a tricky one to catch. But I am finally able to chase Trico all around Route 101, adding him to my team by catching him. After coming across a pack of wild Sableye, I'm reminded that I, myself, have a Sableye, calling Professor Oak and wanting him transferred over to my team. And hey, now my Sableye's in Hoenn. On my way to Lavage Ridge Town, passing down Route 112, I encounter myself a wild Loudred that, for the lack of a better term, keeps annoying me, to the point where the only way I can get it to shut up is by catching it, adding a very annoyed Loudred to my team. While revisiting Little Root Town on my way to Petalburg City for my next gym battle, I discover a wild corefish along the coast of Little Root. Determined to catch it, I chase it down, battle it with my Bulbasaur, and add it to my team. Making it to Petalburg City and fighting Norman for the Balance Badge, my Torchic goes ahead and evolves into Combusken, adding the powerful fire and fighting type to my team. In my battle against Tate and Liza, I decide to use my Grovyle, even though it has a type disadvantage against Psychic type Pokemon. It's able to come in clutch for a little bit until getting heavily weakened, until evolving into Sceptile, but still getting knocked out in the end, because Grass is weak to Psychic type, of course. After realizing I haven't used my Plusle in a while, I trade my Sableye back to Professor Oak's lab, as Professor Oak was in the middle of studying it. Because Sableye is a new ghost type from the Hoenn region, of course. After getting all the 8 badges of Hoenn, I make my way over to Evergrande City, where the Evergrande Conference is being held, being the Pokemon League of the Hoenn region. With my team being pretty confident and powerful, we actually end up not doing that bad in the league, making it all the way to top 16, until having to face some of the stronger Pokemon of the Hoenn region like Metagross or Salamence, where my team just can't keep up with that, making my final overall league ranking the top 16. After not knowing what to do next after my Pokemon League loss, I find out that the Elite Four of Hoenn is located in Evergrande City. The battles with the 4 Elite members were tough at first, but were able to be overcome since my team was pretty much already trained from the Pokemon League. Naturally, after beating all 4, I come across the champion of Hoenn, Steven Stone. Surprisingly, I'm actually able to take out some of his stronger Pokemon. But with Cradily being powerful and Claydol just being an overall strong psychic Pokemon, they end up being able to do the most damage over my team, ending up with me losing the battle against Steven. Before leaving Hoenn, I decided to take on the Battle Frontier, as it was recommended to me basically by Steven after losing by him. With the Battle Frontier being comprised of an island, I run around trying to battle as many Frontier Brains as I can, and in that time, my Combusken evolves into its final form, Blaziken, becoming the strongest it's ever been, putting up a good fight against many of the Frontier Brains. With my time at the Hoenn Frontier coming to an end, I'm able to board a direct cruise that leads from the Battle Frontier Island all the way to the Kanto region, Pallet Town of course. Not long after, and it's just me and my Bulbasaur, as we head off to the new unknown region recommended by Oak, revealed to be the Sinnoh region. Looking through my bag on the way to Sinnoh, I find a Pokeball, and it's revealed to be Magmar's Pokeball. This is when it's revealed that Professor Oak purposely left Magmar's Pokeball in there, as he wanted me to take it to the Sinnoh region for some unknown reason. Arriving in Twinleaf Town, I'm able to battle Barry as he just got his starter Pokemon from Professor Rowan. You know, the story with the briefcase. I end up defeating Barry with my Bulbasaur as he uses his newly caught Piplup. Now meaning that me and Barry are officially rivals. While still in Twinleaf Town, I end up catching myself a Turtwig. Finding a wild one roaming around, I'm determined to catch one. Now in Eterna's city ready to take on Gardena, I find myself a wild Gibble roaming around the city. And I find this Pokemon interesting as it's weird looking, and I feel like it's a good strong Pokemon, able to use my gym battle later. After battling Maylene, I get jumped by a Team Galactic member. After battling him with my Turtwig and my Turtwig getting, well, injured, is when it evolves in the grotto. Now in Pastora's City, my first thing I want to do is visit the Great Marsh, where I was told there's a lot of wild Sinnoh Pokemon. Once in the Great Marsh, I find an abundance of brand new Sinnoh Pokemon, but the one that sticks out to me is a fighting type Pokemon, Riolu. Finding him in the wild and catching him, adding him to my team for good. I go ahead and send out my Gibble during my battle with Crasher Wake for the Finn badge, and my Gibble just goes ahead and evolves right after popping out his Pokeball, evolving into Gabite and taking out almost all of Crasher Wake's whole team, with the help of Bulbasaur of course. Traveling to Hoenn City, I meet up with Barry on one of the nearby routes, where we proceed to have our second battle, where once again I end up beating him, but it's something personal since this team is still kinda weak. Me and Barry actually end up traveling to Hoenn together, and once there we visit a local Pokemon trading festival held in the Super Contest Hall. Me and Barry trade Pokemon back and forth as he reveals to me that Magmar can be evolved after being traded. Not realizing why Professor Oak put Magmar's Pokeball in there, getting my Magmar back from Barry and it ends up evolving into Magmortar. Immediately after arriving in the beautiful city of Conlave City, saving a wild Chimchar that somehow got lost in the canal and was caught in a wild current. The Chimchar I catch is so thankful it follows me around until I end up catching him, adding him to my team, after taking him to the Pokemon Center of course. After traveling with Barry to Snowpoint City, I find myself atop of Mount Coronet, battling Cyrus, the Team Galactic leader. Cyrus has already summoned in Dialga and Palkia, where I send out my Gabite in order to battle him. During that battle, Gabite stands his ground as he evolves into Garchomp in order to have a stronger advantage against Cyrus, which actually ends up working in the long run as Garchomp is insanely strong, being my first pseudo-legendary, well, second behind Dragonite. We all know what happens next as Cyrus attempts to create a new world using Dialga and Palkia. Giratina shows up, ready to drag Cyrus down to the Distortion world, where of course I follow through, seeing as Cyrus has not truly been defeated yet, now being transported to the Distortion world along with Cyrus. Traveling through the Distortion world with my Bulbasaur and Garchomp, I decide to let out my Chimchar to protect me in the Distortion world from the constant attacks from Giratina. With Chimchar constantly trying to fight back against Giratina, it gains enough experience to evolve into Monferno. All hope is lost as I eventually meet up with Cyrus in the Distortion world, battle him, but with Cyrus defeating me, after constant attacks from Giratina. Not knowing what to do next, Cynthia, after meeting her before, comes through a portal, battles Cyrus, and ends up actually defeating him, where he admits that Team Galactic is now disbanded as he stays in the Distortion world, with me and Cynthia leaving, returning back to the real world. Now back on my regular journey, I venture all the way to Sunny Shore City, being able to battle Volkner for my last gym badge in the Sinnoh region. And during the battle for the Beacon badge, my Grotto evolves into its final form, Torterra, in a last ditch effort to save my battle. While visiting islands in the Sinnoh region, I'm informed since I have all 8 badges that I can battle in the Pokemon League located on a nearby island. Making my way through the Sinnoh Elite Four, defeating them all, my Monferno gains enough experience to evolve into Infernape, leaving me for the full champion 6-on-6 battle with none other than Cynthia. I'm able to go toe to toe with Cynthia, but her Pokemon are just way too strong and her Garchomp is a literal monster, taking out almost every Pokemon on my team. But after Cynthia defeats me, not all hope is lost as she informs me that the Sinnoh Pokemon League is being held on a nearby island, Lily of the Valley Island. My Sinnoh Pokemon go on a win streak in the Sinnoh League, placing me really high in the Sinnoh League as I go on to battle Barry in the top 8. It's a tough battle as Barry has his final team, but I'm able to come out on top, beating Barry as his respect is gained for me in the long run. With enough experience gained from the battle from Berry, my Riolu, the last Pokemon that was still alive on my team, evolved straight into Lucario right on the battlefield, leaving me surprised and the crowd roaring. Even though I'm on a win streak, I come across a trainer who has 2 legendary Pokemon, that being a Cresselia and the other being a Regigigas, which just using the 2 are able to defeat my whole team, easily. Placing myself top 4 in the Lily of the Valley Conference. Content with my league placing that I had in Sinnoh, since I did better in Sinnoh than in Hoenn, I decided to leave the Lily of the Valley Stadium from there to get a cruise back to Kanto, where I will spend some time at home in the classic Pallet Town. Naturally dropping off all my current Pokemon besides Bulbasaur at Professor Oak's lab, awaiting for my next adventure. A few months after the Sinnoh League ended, my family ends up planning a trip to an unknown region halfway across the world, that being the Unova region, once Professor Oak tells me that there's over 150 new Pokemon to catch there. After getting involved with Professor Juniper, and she gives me a Unova Pokedex, I'm determined to start a new journey in the Unova region, starting fresh with my Bulbasaur. My family continues their trip in Unova, as I am still in Unova Town, after meeting with Juniper. But here in Unova Town, I'm actually able to catch my first Pokemon, that being a Pidove, as I find many of them flying around. After leaving Unova Town on Route 1, I find myself a Snivy. Knowing that it's the starter of the Unova region, I really want to catch this one, as it is kinda difficult to catch. After catching that Snivy, I'm approached by a trainer, who claims he just watched me catch that Snivy. He introduces himself as Charon, a young Pokemon trainer that just started on their journey. Me and him battle even though he only has 2 Pokemon, one being his starter. After easily defeating Charon, he claims that he'll be back later stronger, where he'll be able to beat me. I take that as a challenge, with Charon as my new rival. After my win at the Shiraitan Gym, I take a walk through Shiraitan City. When passing a construction site in the city, I encounter a wild Timber, who is really eager to battle me. After defeating the strong Pokemon, I decide why not I catch it, which I go ahead and do. While here in Nacrene City is where I actually get to meet and battle N for the first time. Heading for my next gym battle, I take a stop in Pinwheel Forest, where I'm able to use my Pidove to battle various Unova Pokemon. Almost making it out of the forest, my Pidove actually goes ahead and evolves in the Tranquil, after all the experience it's gained from battling. After making it over the Sky Arrow Bridge, I am now in Castelia City ready to battle Brug for the Insect Badge. On my way to the gym though, once leaving the Pokemon Center, I find a wild Roggenrola. After finding out that the Pokemon doesn't have a trainer, it is more than happy to join my team as I offer it a Pokeball. Still in Nimbasa City after winning the Bolt Badge, a friend I'm with is willing to trade me his Tepig for my Timber. After thinking about it for a little bit, I actually go ahead with the trade. Tepig is a Pokemon that I've always wanted, and now I can happily say I have one on my team. Making it to Driftville City, the gym leader Clay offers me and Charon a deal. If we put an end to Team Plasma's harassment around Driftville by locating their secret hideout, then we can battle him for the Quake Badge. During our Team Plasma mission around Driftville, I find myself a wild Minccino. Wanting to catch it, I branch off on my own, leaving Charon, who's kinda doing all the work basically. But I fall around this Minccino trying to catch it, and I do. Making my way through Chargestone Cave, I make my way into Mistleton City. After Skyla, the gym leader, makes me ring a large bell, it is finally time for my gym battle against her. She has strong flying types, but I'm able to take him down, winning myself the Jet Badge. On my way out of Mistleton City, I find myself a wild Oshawott swimming down a river, or should I say relaxing down a river. I end that relaxation by catching it, adding it to my team, forcefully. Not long after at Twist Mountain, I end up battling my rival again, Cheren, where he has proven to got stronger. But during my battle with him, my Tepig takes a lot of damage first, but then evolves into Pig Knight, surprising Cheren, blowing me away by being able to win this battle. Now in Icarus City, I'm able to battle Bryson for the Freeze badge, taking on the gym, and during one of the battles, my Tranquil evolves into an Unpheasant. Being my first Pokemon I caught in Unova, I'm glad to see how strong it's got. While having to deal with Getsis and Team Plasma's evil plan, I ultimately make my way over to Opelucid City, where I am tasked with going up against the Dragon Master Iris for my last badge in the Unova region, that being the Legend badge. Before leaving Opelucid City, I run into Professor Juniper, where she celebrates that I got all 8 badges by giving me a shiny stone. With that stone, I go ahead and evolve my Minccino into one powerful Cinccino. Making my way to the Pokemon League of Unova, I'm ready to battle the Elite Four, which I can do in any order now, that's cool. But I transfer my Oshawott back to Professor Juniper's lab, knowing that my Roggenrola has more experience. After defeating the 4, naturally, it's my turn to battle the champion of Unova, being Older. Me and Older go toe to toe, as each Pokemon we send out is stronger than the last one, creating for a really epic Pokemon battle. But in the end, it's a one-on-one, as we both have one Pokemon remaining. Older isn't messing around anymore, he's giving it everything he has. It's my Bulbasaur against his Volcarona. The battle with the champion ends in a draw, as the two Pokemon basically knock each other out. After my loss, I start heading south, coming across Virtuous City. Virtuous City is the place where the Virtuous City Conference takes place, also known as the Unova League. With my first few days of the Virtuous Conference going pretty well actually, it all comes to a halt when I have to battle Cheren. This is where Cheren appears with his final team, and appearing stronger than he's ever been before. I'm actually a bit nervous going to this battle, not gonna lie, and the battle actually goes out great, with my Rock'n'Rolla evolving to Boulder midway through the battle. But Cheren's Emboar is just way too strong, taking out probably the most of my team. With that all together, it means that I lost to Cheren, placing in the top 8 of the Unova League. Before I even realized I even lost this league, an unknown Team Plasma Castle rises from the ground, destroying basically the whole stadium as the whole league has been overthrown. Not long after, suddenly all the Unova gym leaders appear from out of nowhere, ready to help me and Cheren take down Team Plasma, once and for all. I make my way back down to November Town after Team Plasma is defeated, and gets us no more as me and Cheren defeat him in battle. But now in November Town I can finally say goodbye to Unova as I get on a plane back to Kanto, of course. Immediately back in Pallet Town, I'm visited by Professor Oak, who congratulates me on taking down Team Plasma in the Unova region, and is ultimately impressed. Oak goes on to tell me about other mysterious happenings in different regions. I leave all of my Unova Pokemon behind at Professor Oak's lab, as he offers to send me on another adventure to investigate a widely unknown region, being the Kalos region. Welcome to Kalos. As I arrive in Vanvilla Town, I am amazed at all the brand new Kalos Pokemon that I see. Right off the bat, it fills me with determination to catch some brand new Pokemon. Also while I'm there, I get to battle Caleb and Serena after they just got their new starters. While traveling down Route 1, I'm constantly looking for a new Pokemon to catch, finding myself a wild Fletchling. Thinking it's a really cool Pokemon, I decide to catch it. First catching Kalos, baby! I traveled days upon days to Santaloon Gym just to get my first gym badge, battling Viola at the Santaloon Gym, and of course knocking things out of the park with my team of 2. By the way, it's also at this point where I get to visit Lumiose City, as it's right there, and where I get to meet Professor Sycamore for the first time, where he tells me about that secret thing I was supposed to be looking out for. Mega Evolution. It was also here where Sycamore mistaked me for a trainer and offered me a Kalos starter. And with that, you know I picked Froakie. Yeah, I know, a water type, right? Nah, but for real, I thought Froakie was really cool looking and thought it would be a real change of pace to have a water type on my team. With that all out of the way, I'm able to head to Cyclist City to battle Grant, overall winning the gym battle and adding the Cliff badge to my collection. Making it through the Reflection Cave, battling Team Flare Grunts for the first time. They seem to mention something about a 3,000-year-old legend. That's strange. I make it to Shadowlore City where I get to meet up with Karina and her grandfather, who starts mentioning some stuff about Mega Evolution. After battling Karina, I come out on top, winning the gym battle. She then wants to have a secret battle, one where she uses her Mega Lucario. I use my Bulbasaur. Her Mega Lucario obviously comes out on top, being a Mega Evolution. But my Bulbasaur put up a good fight though. Not long after that though, I make it to Core Marine City in order to battle Ramos for the plant badge. After beating him easily, I'm on my way. Right outside of the Kalos power plant on Route 13, I find a wild Finnegan, and when I go up to battle it, it puts up a good fight against my Bulbasaur, but I end up catching it, adding the fire-type starter of Kalos to my team. While battling Team Flare Grunts in the Kalos power plant, my Fletchling goes ahead and evolves into Fletchender. Back in Lumio City, I'm ready to challenge Clement for the Voltage badge, but realizing that I'm kinda short on Pokemon, I go to a nearby research facility, where I now have the technology to revive a fossil that I had found previously in Reflection Cave. Lumio City is where I actually get to meet back up with Calum, as he has gotten notably stronger. The battle is a bit tough, but my Froakie comes through by evolving into Frogadier halfway through the battle, helping me get the edge on Caleb. Not long after that, I soon head north from Lumios to arrive in Laver City, where I soon get to battle the first fairy-type gym leader ever, that being Valerie of course. During the battle though, my Finnegan goes ahead and evolves into Braixen, after taking a lot of hits from Valerie's Sylveon. Making my way more north, I find myself right outside of the Pokeball factory, which Team Flare has invaded. Before doing all that though, I found myself a group of wild Phantom in the forest nearby. Seeing as it's really unique, I go out of my way to catch this Pokemon, making sure I had it to my team. Here in the Frost Cavern is actually where my Fletchender evolves into Talonflame, after battling Mabel of Team Flare. Not long after that though, I make my way over to Anastar City, where I get to battle Olympia for the Psychic badge. With it being a fairly strong gym, I decide to use my Finnegan, where it shows its full power as it evolves into Delphox, gaining that extra Psychic type, making it even much stronger. After Lysander puts his full plan in motion, ready to reset the world, when battling Lysander for the first time, I use my Frogadier specifically. As my Frogadier comes out on top, evolving into Greninja, and being strong as Nah, but seriously, Greninja's a seriously awesome Pokemon. Lysander then tries taking over the world by firing the ultimate weapon. With literally everyone trying to stop him, I send out all my Pokemon. My Phantom, getting actually the most hits in, evolves into Trevenant. But this isn't where it stops. Lysander is revealed to have Mega Evolution, Mega evolving his Gyarados, meaning now I have to battle him. With the ultimate weapon being fired and basically destroying itself, foiling Lysander's evil plan, Lysander's defeated, allowing me to return back on my normal journey, making it to Snowbell City for my final gym badge in Kalos. I now have made it to the Kalos Pokemon League, where I can take on the Kalos Elite Four. This mixed bag of Elite Four is kind of a difficult one to beat, as they are insanely powerful with really cool chamber rooms. I have to give them that one. The final gates eventually open up though as I struggle my way through the Elite Four, revealing Diantha, the popular movie startup, to be the definite champion of Kalos. With her team being strong and my team already kinda weakened, it turns out being a strong battle, but in a shocking turn of fate, I overcome Diantha, winning the battle, registering my Kalos team in the Hall of Fame, as I become the new champion of Kalos, which I couldn't have done it without my strong team first of all, which is why they deserve the spotlight. Being the new champion of Kalos, I'm immediately transported after my battle with Diantha to the Lumios Stadium, where the Lumios Conference is being held, the annual Pokemon League for the Kalos region. I think we should get this by now. In a shocking turn of events, I register myself for the conference, taking my new champion status to the Lumios Conference. I battle through the 3 XY rivals, making my way through all 3 of them, you know, with Sawyer using his Mega Sceptile. After beating all 3 of them, I realize that I am now in the top 8. My next battle is with Calum, who is surprised to see that I'm the champion now, but that doesn't stop anything as we have a most intense battle in the Kalos League, practically shaking up the entire stadium, as Calum now has his final team. With my team though being really strong, and you know, Calum only having 5 Pokemon, I'm able to take Calum out. After beating Alola in the top 4, yeah, that's right, Alola, it's now a one-on-one as I am now placed in the top 2, basically being a finalist. In a suspenseful time, I wait for my next opponent to be sent out onto the battlefield. And when the opponent is sent out, it's revealed to be somebody that I've known, somebody that I've seen before, heard of, a man named AZ. a living legend 3,000 years old. He's revealed to make himself all the way to the finalists as well, and claims it's the only way of gaining peace, after the loss of his different colored Floetta to the Ultimate Machine all those years ago. After an overall strange battle, as AZ only brought 3 Pokemon, I end up defeating him kind of easily, and this is shocking, as AZ's same Floetta that he lost immediately comes back as the battlefield changes its atmosphere to somewhat of a calmful one, as AZ is reunited with his Floetta and I'm crowned the Kalos victor. Man, what a happy ending. While still in Lumio City, I wanted to say goodbye to Professor Sycamore. He congratulates me, and I give him Greninja's Pokeball. Seeing how he accidentally let me take Froakie, I ensure Sycamore is one of my strongest Pokemon I probably have ever had, promising to give it a good home in Kalos. While still in Lumio City, I catch a plane back to Kanto, and on the way back, I often remind myself that even though I won the Pokemon League, and am the champion of Kalos, there's still more to my Pokemon journey, and much more I must discover. I could feel it, and to that, I'm on my own way. Now back at home for a while, a bombshell is dropped on me. My family basically tells me that we're moving to a new region, an island, perhaps, the Alola region. Once properly settled into Iki Town, a small town located on Mele Mele Island, I soon go out for a walk, meeting Hao, in the process getting a starter Pokemon from Professor Kukui, of course. This is also where I get to meet Lily, Hala, and Elo. Me and Hao then go ahead and have a fun little battle after he chooses a starter, Rowlet. I win the battle against Hal, and seeing that I'm new here, Professor Kukui offers me a spot in the Pokemon school on Mele Mele Island. Seeing as I just moved here and have literally nothing else going on, I decide to join, as Lily, Elo, and Hal are already all enrolled in the school. A few days into the school, and Professor Kukui assists me in getting a Rotom Pokedex, one that will follow me around and tell me cool things. On my way home from school one day, me and Bulbasaur run into a wild Rockruff. As the Pokemon is known for constantly being spotted around Iki Town, I determine to catch and add the Rockruff to my team, as it is somewhat of a sneaky Pokemon. Taking a school trip to Verdant Cave, I veer off the path in chase of a Rowlet. Knowing it's one of the stars of Alola, I'm able to add it to my team after a quick battle, but chasing the Rowlet leads me to the first trial Captain Ilma and her totem Pokemon of Gumshoos. After using my team of 3 to take out his 2 Pokemon, I'm awarded my first Z Crystal, a Normalium Z. Not knowing what it is or what it does, I ask Professor Kukui, who then gives me my own bracelet, a Z bracelet, in which I can use Z moves. While back at the Pokemon school is where I get to battle Team Skull for the first time, before leaving Mele Mele Island. Now arriving at Akala Island, the first thing I do is head over to Brooklet Hill in order to challenge the trial captain, Lana, and her totem Pokemon. While making my way up the mountain to Wellet Volcano Park, I come across a wild Cabrala. The thing tries to pick a fight with me, but ends up losing to my strong Bulbasaur. Seeing that I defeated the wild Pokemon, I decide to add it to my team. The trial battle with Kiawe on top of the Volcano Park is where my Rockruff is able to evolve into its Lycanroc Midnight form. Being super strong, it's able to take out Kiawe's totem Pokemon. While on a roll here collecting Z crystals, I now find myself in the lush jungle for the grand trial against Mallow, who's just chilling here in the jungle, I guess. But I finish Mallow's trial fast and easy as I'm determined to get the Grassium Z. The night before my grand trial battle with Olivia, I take my time to relax in Coney City. This is where I run into Litten, a wild Pokemon that only comes out during night to cause havoc around Coney City. After watching it lose a fight against an Alola and Eradicate, I take it to a Pokemon Center to get healed. With the Litten kinda depressed that it lost its fight, I offer it to join my team, which it gracefully does, now having the fire starter of Alola on my team. The next day is when I make it to the Ruins of Life to have my grand trial battle against Olivia, the island kahuna. All my Pokemon put up a good fight besides Litten, that's because he was caught yesterday. But that doesn't stop me from beating her, and with that I'm on my way back to Mele Mele Island. Now back at the school once more, our next field trip is revealed to be to the Aether Paradise, after a man named Faba came to speak to Professor Kukui. It's at the Aether Paradise where we get to meet Lusamine for the first time. This is when we are suddenly attacked by the Ultra Beast Nihilego. But after all of us from the class battle it vanishes, I guess? But after all that happens, we are quick to leave out of there, now spending the rest of our trip on Ula Ula Island. While here on Ula Ula Island for the little time I have, I make way to the Okulani Observatory to battle the Trial Captain Sophocles and his totem Pokemon of Togedemaru. While on my way to my next trial battle, I take a shortcut through Mount Lanakina as it will get me across the island faster. Here is where I come across a pack of wild Alolan Sandshrew. It immediately brought back memories of my Sandshrew that I had back in the Kanto and Johto region. Seeing as I don't have that Sandshrew anymore, I wanted a new one, and Alolan Sandshrew just fit perfectly. Also, while battling the Alolan Sandshrew for my team, my Crabrawler goes ahead and evolves into Crabominable. Finally making it to the abandoned thrifty Mega Mart, I meet up with the young Acerola, who turns out to be the trial captain. Before leaving back to Mele Mele Island as part of the trip, I have a grand trial battle against Nanu, the island kahuna of Ula Ula Island. This battle takes place after defeating Guzma for the first time, by the way. It's in this battle with Nanu where my Litten goes ahead and evolves into Torracat. Also, after we return to Mele Mele Island, Nebby evolves. Just letting you guys know that. Seeing how there's only one island left in the Alola region to take on, Professor Kukui plans the next school trip to be to Pony Island. But before going there, some stuff happens at the Aether Paradise with Lusamine, with her disappearing through a portal. It's okay, we'll deal with that later. Because now we're at Pony Island, and man am I pumped. My first trial battle takes place in the vast Pony Cannon, all where it's just me and I have to go up against the Totem Como, all in the middle of the cannon too. But with the full team of 6, the battle really isn't that hard. After a quick battle with Mina at the Sea Folk Village, it's my time to battle the island kahuna Hapu, who specializes in ground-type Pokemon. After defeating her, I am granted the Pony Stamp and I'm on my way. I now find myself with Lily at the Altar of the Sun, where the Pokemon that she's been carrying around evolves into Solgaleo, which will now help us all in the search for Lusamine, sending us into the Ultra Space. Now in the Ultra Space in search for Lusamine, we come across many alternate dimensions within the Ultra Space, as the Ultra Space is basically the home to these worlds. We finally come across Lusamine though in Ultra Deep Space, and here is where it's revealed that her and Nihilego have basically fused together and it's our jobs in taking her out, with my Alolan Sandshrew evolving into Alolan Sandslash. Ayy! After defeating Lusamine and breaking Nihilego's control, we are now free from the Ultra Space after traveling through a portal that took us directly to the Aether Paradise. A few days after returning though, an ultra wormhole has appeared to open up over the Aether Paradise. In a flash of light in a brief second, and the Aether Paradise has been completely transformed to the Team Rainbow Rocket's castle. Me and Lily immediately travel from Mele Mele Island over to see what happened. Once there, we team up with Guzma to battle against the evil villains from before. But it seems this time, each villain is from their own respective world, a world where they have won, and have all been teleported to the Aether Paradise to be a part of Team Rainbow Rocket. After battling through all the previous villain members of Team Rainbow Rocket, and this is when I encountered Giovanni, and I've encountered Giovanni before, back in the Kanto region, and once in the Unova region for the Pokemon Worlds Tournament. But now this is Giovanni as his true form, him with his Mewtwo. It's a tough battle, but we pull through. All of us come together to bring down Giovanni and his Mewtwo, bringing the Aether Paradise back to its normal state, displacing Giovanni to a different universe. It's just a mystery where he could have gone. After the news is spread of Team Rainbow Rocket's defeat, and basically the existence of Ultra Space, the Alola Islands are in a sort of panic, and Professor Kukui hasn't been seen in days. But this is when he shows up at my house, barges in of course, and invites me on a private tour with just him to a new stadium that was just built out by the Aether Paradise. With the stadium being empty, I'm confused, but this is when Professor Kukui reveals to me that this is my battle against the Alola League. Against him, the champion of Alola. Professor Kukui with his full team of 6. This is when the battle starts. My Pokemon go toe to toe with his, but my Torracat holds his own against most of Kukui's Pokemon. Even being able to knock out a few like Alola, Ninetales, and Magnezone. But it's once I switch from my Bulbasaur when I start knocking out Pokemon like Snorlax and Braviary. But it's when I send out my Torracat to battle Professor Kukui's Incineroar. My Torracat holds its own for as long as it can, but it knows once it can't take it anymore, it's going to evolve into Incineroar, and that it does. My Incineroar, knowing its strength and its determination to beat Professor Kukui's Incineroar, I use my Z-moves, even using the specialized Incineroar Z-move that had given to me by Professor Kukui himself. Even though the Z move was powerful, my Incineroar can't take it and faints. But this is when I call out my Bulbasaur, and you know I'm ready with the Z move. Using my Grassarium Z, I deliver the strongest grass type Z move on Incineroar, which ends up knocking him out, delivering me the win over Professor Kukui, and I guess making me the de facto champion of Alola? I mean, I guess so. I'm no Ash Ketchum over here, but calm. Hey. I guess you can say my time in Alola has come, even though my family has moved here, and don't get me wrong, they're staying. But Alola gave me this nice, homey, welcomey feel, just invited you in. But I feel with the ultra space and everything else out there, there's so much more to discover all around the world. And if I guess that's where new stuff is, I guess I'll go and discover all around the world. Me and Hal share one last battle as his starter Pokemon has evolved into Decidueye. It's a close battle, but I end up defeating him in the end. But he's proud of that. I thank Hal for always being there. Before leaving and saying goodbye to everyone at the Pokemon school, I end up leaving all my Pokemon my house in Iki Town, with my family of course. And with that I'm on a plane, bidding farewell to Alola. The first thing I do getting off my plane is I visit Professor Oak's laboratory, as I'm now in the Pallet Town Kanto, my original home. Once meeting Professor Oak though in his lab, he's there with Professor Sinnoh, who, after getting introduced to, offers to take me to Vermilion City, where the new Cerise laboratory had just opened up. And this is where I get to meet Go, a young trainer with no Pokemon. Also studying at the laboratory is another young Pokemon trainer named Gloria, a young girl from the Galar region, who is studying abroad in Kanto. A few days after this chillin' in Kanto is when Gloria takes us on our first trip to the Galar region. Once in Galar, I am able to track down a wild Galarian Ponyta, with me and my Bulbasaur chasing it through the whole town of Postwick. I throw a Pokeball, and it ends up catching it, with this brand new Pokemon I've never seen before being the first addition to my team. The Galar region is actually where I get to hear about the Pokemon World Coronation series. Now back in Kanto, me and Go make our way to Lavender Town in an attempt to register myself for the Pokemon World Coronation series. Upon registering myself, I found out my first battle is with Sabrina, the psychic type gym leader of the Saffron Gym. A battle with her is a bit tricky, as she has some strong Pokemon, I'm not gonna lie. But I end up beating her, and before leaving, me and Go make our way to the Pokemon Tower, where I find myself a wild Gengar. After not paying much attention to it, it eventually pops out at me, wanting me to battle it. After battling and admitting defeat, that's when I go on ahead and catch it, adding the strong Pokemon of Gengar from Lavender Town to my team. Returning to the Cerise laboratory, Professor Sinnoh reveals to me that she has something to give me, and that is a Rotom phone, a personalized Pokedex that will tell you information on not only the Pokemon but the location as well. While the next few days I travel to other regions like Sinnoh, Kalos, and Unova, we are ultimately flown back to the Galar region. This time showing up in the town of Turnfield. This is where I end up battling the grass gym leader Milo of the Galar region, a battle for the ranking in the World Coronation series. While still in Galar, I traveled to Badlanley Town, probably one of the nicest looking places I've been to on my journey by the way. But it's here where I challenge BD, yet another battle for the World Coronation series, but it's still worth it, as he's a really strong psychic type trainer. It's also in Badlanley where I catch myself a wild Impidimp right after finishing my battle with Bede. With Impidimp being strong, yet adorable, it's a good addition to my team. Leaving Balea City is where I run into a young trainer named Hop. He's eager for a battle, so I end up giving him the works. After I defeat him, he tells me all about the champion of Galar, and how he's his younger brother. As Hop is beginning on his World Coronation series, I expect to see him around, and wish him good luck. It's when I'm on the way back to Postwick though, when me and Go come across the wild Grookey. Go is eager to catch it, as he's been catching everything recently. But I see it as since he has the fire starter of Galar, it's my turn to catch the grass starter of Galar, adding the rambunctious Grookey to my Pokemon team. Now back in the Kanto region, I have a battle with Lance for my ranking in the World Coronation series. The battle is tough as Lance uses his original strong Pokemon, but my Pokemon prevail with my Galarian Ponyta evolving into Galarian Rapidash, taking the battlefield by complete surprise. Now arriving back in Hoenn for the first time in a while, I admit. me and Go get to meet Steven, where we get to have an unofficial battle, but still an interesting one, I'm not gonna lie. Steven is revealed to have Dynamax, but it doesn't stop my Impidimp as it evolves into Morgrem while facing off in one of Steven's Pokemon. This is also where my Bulbasaur is somehow able to Dynamax out of nowhere, which takes me and Steven by surprise, but it's able to go toe-to-toe with Steven's Dynamax Pokemon, resulting in a double knockout. Once leaving Hoenn, me and Go find ourselves back in the Galar region. Oh, once again, what a surprise! No, but seriously, now back in Galar, we find ourselves passing through the small town of Spikemouth. This is where I'm urged into having a battle with Marini by Team Yell, who braids the whole city, basically supporting her, which I find that a little off-putting, but I still have the battle anyway, whatever. It's after my battle with Marini where I meet up with Hop again. This is where my Grookey goes ahead and evolves into Thwackey after knocking out one of Hop's Pokemon. Of course I win the battle over Hop, placing my rank higher as it was an official world coronation battle. While making my way to Circhester for my official battle with Gordy, me and Go come across a pack of wild Galarian Corsola. Respectively, Go catches one, but then I decide, hey, I want to catch one too. We both battled the strongest Corsola, with me being the one to catch it, even though Go was able to catch the other strongest one in the pack. After being able to defeat Gordy, is when I finally make my way over to Hammerlock City. This is when I discover that I have a high enough ranking in the World Coronation Series to go up against Ryan, the Dragon-type gym leader that resides in Hammerlock. During my battle with Ryan, my Thwackey is the one to go up against his Dynamax, and while fighting off his Pokemon, it evolves into Rillaboom, now being able to Dynamax, which is why Thwackey was so eager to evolve. With that powerful Dynamax, I'm able to defeat Ryan, setting my rank high enough to compete in the Champion Cup, which is held in Wyndham, of course. Now arriving in Wyndham, I'm immediately thrusted into the Champion Cup at the Wyndham Stadium, with my first round being against Marin. A battle with her is a sort of an easy one, seeing as I have the power to Dynamax now. But it's at the end of the battle though, after I won, is when my Galarian Corsola evolves into Cursola after the intensity of the battle, which catches me by surprise as I've never seen the Pokemon before. Like, I didn't even know that thing could evolve. After winning that battle, it's my time to face Hop. He starts talking about how we come a long way, but the only thing I'm focused on is smoking him in a battle, which basically what ends up happening. That's where the Champion Cup wraps up for today, meaning that I'm one step closer to the finals. As the rest of the day was supposed to be my relaxed day, Hop just shows up out of nowhere warning about trouble at Rose Tower, and just like that, of course we have to go investigate. Making it to the top of Rose Tower is where we battle against his secretary Olina, who tries to hold us back from seeing the chairman, as he can't be disturbed. But me and Hop end up defeating her, gaining us access to listen to a private conversation between the chairman and Leon. But it's the next day though, and at the Wyndham Stadium, the Champion Cup continues, where I go ahead and wipe the floor with Nessa, Alistair, and Ryan once again, just for that little extra satisfaction, you know. But it's when I get out to the battlefield to battle Leon. Chairman Rose comes on the screen. Making an emergency broadcast, he warns us all about the darkest day, a chain reaction of all the energy he's built up, which can destroy the Galar region altogether, ultimately putting a stop between me and Leon's battle, as the whole stadium's kinda being destroyed right now. With the whole region of Galar basically in some sort of panic, me and Go are tasked by Professor Sona to head to the Slumbering Wheel, a place with the key to fixing everything. While here though, me and Go are approached by the two legendary Pokemon of the Galar region, Zacian and Zamazenta. The two Pokemon of the hero duo lead us to the altar, where I am the one entrusted with the sword, while Go is the one entrusted with the shield. Me and Go now make our way over to the energy plane of Galar, the place where Chairman Rose has been said to have been hiding out over the course of Galar's darkest day. He can't stay in hiding for much longer though, as me and Go basically challenge him to a battle, but still after defeating Chairman Rose, he admits it's too late. With the legendary Pokemon Eternus already on its way, he claims it's over for everyone and everything in the Galar region, including me and him. But me and Go don't take this news lightly, as we go and confront Eternus at the tower's summit, with our Pokemon not being able to even lay a scratch on Eternus. It seems like all hope is lost, right? That's until Go has the idea to whip out the rusty sword and shield from before. With Gloria and Hop there to help us out, we are able to summon the legendary dogs, assisting in the fight against Eternus, basically bringing the whole thing down with their combined strength. And with that, I can basically say that the whole Galar region has been saved, and Eternus doomed to wherever the hell he came from. With the darkest day gladly behind us, I now return with Leon to the Wyndham Stadium, most of the crowd cheering me and Leon on for stopping the darkest day, basically saving the whole Galar region. But finally, the battle with Leon is tough. as played out to be. Leon's full team is proven to be a bit tough, but my full team is also shown to be a bit tough, basically taking its own against Eternus. In the end, the battle is really close. Even my Morgum evolves into Grimmsnarl during the intense battle. But at the end of the battle, it results in Leon beating me. Showing his true strength, Leon admits that was a great battle, and that I totally should have won that. But you know, Gigantamax Charizard. Even though I lost in the Champion Cup, I'm not bummed at all. In fact, I spend the next day taking a trip over the Slumbering Weald for a little bit of self-reflection. But this is all before being joined by Go, Hop, and Gloria as they come with Professor Sonia. While they're admiring the rusted sword and shield, the two opposed kings of Galar come out of nowhere. The two kings try and take the sword and shield from the altar, which ultimately prompts a double battle between the two kings, going off against me and Go. The two are promptly defeated and the sword and shield are taken under their care, being transported directly to Wyndham. At the altar is when Professor Sonia reveals to all of us that she's building her new laboratory right here at the altar to do further research into the sword and shield Pokemon in the darkest day. This news leaves Go more than excited, and after Sona sees Go's excitement, she offers him a spot as her up-and-coming assistant, bringing Go one step closer in his main goal of finding and catching Mew. Now with this being my last day in Galar, me and Hop share one last battle at the altar. I go easy on Hop, letting him win, basically letting Hop get his first win over me. But with that win, it gives him the motivation to do much more, basically helping him become stronger in the process. And that's it. It's here at the Wyndham Airport where I give Gloria Rillaboom's Pokeball. As Gloria is staying in the Galar region, I want her to keep a main piece of my Galar journey, reminding her that anything, even the darkest day, can be overcome. When I say goodbye to Gloria at the Wyndham Airport, I hop on a plane. Departing from the Galar region, it's unknown where my next location will be. Maybe back to Alola to see my family, or maybe Kalos to meet back up with Caleb and Serena, or maybe even Kanto. Look, the point is I can go anywhere, but it's not all about going anywhere. It's about the places and people you get to meet and interact with. It's about how no matter where you go, your true friends will always be the one to support you in the end. Remember that. And with that all said and done, this has been my Pokemon team, if I were in the Pokemon anime, of course. Thanks for watching, and this has been Transdimensional.